This is what we've always dreamed of. A place to compete, where we're seen and heard.
This moment right here, can nobody take this from me.
A platform to be unapologetically ourselves and celebrated for it.
We are the future.
A space to be loud, where we are resilient, ruthless, radiant. Athletes Unlimited defies all expectations, and only we know the determination it takes to get here. This is where champions are forged. No more asking, explaining, or justifying what we do. Get ready, because this is our moment.
Well, that should get the blood pumping for fans of Athletes Unlimited across the board. Courtney, these 5 leagues, they champion innovation, excellence, and inclusion.
Athletes Unlimited flips the model, and they do away with the fixed teams every week, beginning with the draft, where 4 team captains select their team for the upcoming week. It's a unique model that a lot of players and fans love.
While we focus on the lacrosse angle, preparations are coming along fast and furious for the 4th championship season of Athletes Unlimited Softball. It begins July 28th.
60 of the world's best players in Athletes Unlimited Softball. One of the best parts this year, in the middle of its championship season, Athletes Unlimited will relocate its entire roster and staff to the home of the Little League Softball World Series in Greenville, North Carolina.
As fans get to know more and more about Athletes Unlimited, they come to recognize just how often we hear from the players who are mic'd up on the court or on the field. The access that the athletes give us is fun and it's appreciated.
You know, it's always nice to hear what they're saying on the field. That's how you build chemistry amongst your team. So all those young players watching, make sure you communicate with those around you.
And with that in mind, here's an example of the best moments from lacrosse this season into the game.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think, like, we're getting the looks. Some of them are good, some of them are just looks, but either way, we'll start to finish. Get some first quarter jitters out, right?
Yeah. You got those passes. Just hold. Did you feel yourself coming in again? No, literally just catch it. You're so fast. You're good.
We were all occupying or doing something intentional off ball. Like, we were talking, we had our defense working. You guys, I heard you. Like, if we just keep them.
Going on the draft. We have absolutely no numbers on here. So let's get it, and then we can pass back too if we need.
Okay, do me a favor. Just don't get overzealous on that end, all right?
Okay. No, I know that. I'm ready for this. I've been prepping for it.
I know you have. Let's go.
We get higher and like you go, they're going to feel like they have to slide because there's so much space for you, and I can just literally run next to you.
Quick shout out to Ella. Keep listening to that. And the slide package looks really good right now. Ella, great job on the slide package.
All right, bring it in.
Going on and plenty more to come. Today's games close the week 1 schedule. Here's what's left ahead, remaining in season 3.
You know, the fact that there's a partnership between ESPN and Athletes Unlimited speaks volumes. These players are able to be on TV in front of fans across the country, and everyone is so thankful in the lacrosse world.
The players in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse are extremely talented, each in their own way. Our sideline reporter, Maria Trivalpiece, she spent some time with the always clever Sammy Jo Tracy to show off her stick skills.
My goal this season is to make Sports Center top 10 multiple times. Doing what? Trick shots.
With a denial, the bounce shot, follow-up score! Sammy Jo Tracy to the pass inside. Twizzler shot, score! Sammy Jo Tracy backpedaling away from the goal. Sammy Jo Tracy fires up top. It's 1-0 early.
So this is a new one that I've been trying. I got inspired by some players in the PLL, and I think it's time for us girls to do it too. As I backdoor cut from a midi, I'm gonna catch the feed. As I have a stick shoulder-shoulder defender, I'm gonna drop it through my legs and flick it through. Let's go fast. Backdoor. That one looks cool. It's not top cheese though. This one is definitely the hardest. we'll see if this comes out this season. I got inspired by Jen Adams, and she taught me at a young age, and I've been practicing ever since. All right, I'm gonna get the feed from down low. No one on me. Woo! Through the legs. Ready, baby? Yep. Woo! It's important for the game because it shows how creative and cool and different our sport is and how much we can do with just a ball and a stick.
The backbreaker hurts me just to watch. Sammy Jo is always thinking of new ways to score, and she's not afraid to try them in game. Switching gears to athletes who host their own shows. Kylie Ohlmiller is a frequent podcaster and has been for years. Maria Tribal Piece helps us understand the Dream On approach.
Hey friends, Kylie here, your host of Dream On with Kylie Ohlmiller.
The Dream On podcast is my podcast that I started back in 2020. It was in the midst of COVID, and it just started as a conversation that I was able to have with a lot of my peers through the Pro League and just a lot of high-level lacrosse over my experiences. We started these sessions on Zoom, and they ended up being live Zoom sessions that we would hold on my KO17 lacrosse app. We used to have a lot of live followers to these conversations that we just decided, when people went back to real life after COVID was kind of becoming less of a thing, we decided to turn the audio into podcast episodes and continue on with these interviews. So it's been really special. So now we kind of, reach out to our guests just based on, again, just different experiences and conversations that I've had with people throughout the lacrosse world. And also we have some different people in the recovery space, the nutrition space, the training space. Again, just people that have had a really great impact on my journey so far, or the people around me's journey that I've been introduced to, that I just want to kind of get to know them a little bit more. It sounds funny, but it's a very personal project for me. It's almost a way that I get to have an hour-long conversation with our guests and just learn more about them. Have anyone from, my peers who are actually my friends who love listening to it to, coaches in the space. We have a lot of young girls that like to listen to it with their parents, which I think has been the best feedback that I've gotten is, on your way to a tournament or on your way to a practice, that's what they put on just to get a little bit of extra inspiration or just to learn something about one of their favorite players. It's really special to hear that feedback, and we just have a really special community of people that kind of tune into our episodes and ask for new guests that they want to see and really are interactive in a way too. My hopes for the podcast is that we can continue to have some awesome, really inspiring guests on there. Just continue to have some conversations that I leave, my computer after the hour conversation just feeling more inspired to get on with my day. I'm just hoping that every guest we continue to have can do that for not only me, but everyone who listens to the episodes.
Kylie, thanks a lot. We'll be sure to check out Dream On. Fans, please do stick around. When we return, we'll continue to set the table for Team Apuzzo and Team Marino, a showcase that'll put an end to Week 1 of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. It is great to be back at USA Lacrosse headquarters. Season 3 for Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Our second summer here at this venue, which treats the players and the fans so well. Courtney, the alarm clock, it sure did ring early today. We have put in a lot of work already, and while we continue to bridge the gap until our second game today, might as well look back at the first, an impressive win for Team Reed.
Team Reed, they were firing on all cylinders from the very beginning, winning the draw controls, playing some tough defense, and that was translating into some big-time offense.
The offense early on for Team Reed, it was all about transition and making things count off the break.
Allie Kennedy was showcasing her speed all over the field. Her eyes were up. She had the vision to see any and everyone, but when the lane was open, she took it herself. Allie Kennedy, again, that big spark throughout the field. Cookie Carr getting into the offensive action. Andy Eldave with that one, but I love how they were just sharing the ball. Plain and simple. You have to move the ball, get everyone involved, and that produces some quality offense.
Charlotte North would be heard from before too long for Team Mastriani. She really heated up in the second half.
You know, once she decided to take things over and get involved, whether it was one-on-one offensive situations with her defender, mismatches. This is my favorite goal of the entire day, a two-pointer from behind goal line extended. She just had the wherewithal to take on those two defensive players.
As we are getting set for Team Apuzzo and Team Marino, the second game of 2, on a day when Athletes Unlimited has really taken over ESPN2. Courtney, the temperatures throughout this week of play, very hot here in the Mid-Atlantic region. This is 3 games in 4 days. For Tam Apuzzo and for her mates, how have they conditioned themselves to play this many games in this short of a time period?
You know, these are elite athletes. They train a lot. When you look at them compared to last summer, they went from world championships, whether it was playing for Team USA, Canada, England, and then immediately came to Athletes Unlimited. They actually feel fresher this year than they did last.
Sam Apuzzo, who placed second to Taylor Marino a season ago, as we watch the impressive netminder, the reigning champion, warm up. You know, this is a player, I think after 2 seasons now in Athletes Unlimited, she gets inside the players' heads. I think they are watching her play and stop as many shots as she does early on, and it becomes almost a mental block against her.
You know, she's tough in goal. Being a goalie, it's all about, yes, your play, your job is to save the ball, but then she also wants to be that steady Eddie, especially as captain, and she's trying to be more vocal this year in communicating with everyone. She felt like maybe she took a backseat to that a little bit last year, but obviously it worked. And again, it's about sparking what the team does on the other end of the field. And they've found that. I do think that they've struggled a little bit to put up some major points. She obviously has 2 wins on the weekend, but they got to score some more goals.
So, with the MVP votes tabulated and the points tallied for each individual, we can share the most current leaderboard. The thing to remember, once we complete our next game today, the top 4 on the board become the new captains for week 2.
Taylor Marino, the fact that she already has 412 points. She's at the top of the leaderboard. She hasn't even played yet today. She's gonna remain there, most likely if she has another solid game. But a bunch of players, Team Reed in purple, that's because they had a big win. Back-to-back 14-plus point wins over their last 2 opponents.
It was Taylor Marino's team that beat Team Reed 8-4 on opening night. And since then, though, Team Reed finished off very, very nicely through the remainder of the weekend, and that's why so many of the purple-clad players are high up on the leaderboard list up to the moment. As we are getting set for Team Apuzzo and Team Marino, Taylor Marino, the type of netminder, has been stopping the balls with great regularity, and she's also the key to some defensive turnovers, which advance her leaderboard points.
She doesn't just move up the leaderboard from the saves. She gets caused turnovers. She's intercepting passes. Again, she starts the offense. I would not be surprised if she has the ability to have an assist as well, because she has a tremendous outlet clear.
Taylor Marino will backstop her team in gold when Team Marino squares off with Team Apuzzo. It's the marquee matchup in Athletes Unlimited. Season number 3, week number 1 comes to a close with you in just a few moments. Back to USA Lacrosse headquarters for more on ESPN2. Lax fans are in for a treat with the last game of the first weekend in Athletes Unlimited. 2 contests into this new season, and Sam Apuzzo is happily back to her old goal-scoring ways. Meanwhile, defending champion Taylor Marino has rejected everyone who challenges her title. It's a clash of titans with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN. Welcome to Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN, presented by our official climate finance partner, Aspiration. We're fixing to put a close to the opening weekend of the new campaign. On a smoking hot day in Sparks, Maryland, it's the highly entertaining clash between Team Apuzzo and Team Marino. When play began back on Thursday, these 4 frontrunners from a season ago, they were honored to be captains in week 1. That's the way it started. As of the moment, the current leaderboard featuring a new 5 players. The key to remember is that the top 4, after this afternoon's action is complete, will serve as captains and will draft new teams tomorrow. A very pleasant welcome to you. Along with Courtney Martinez-Connor, a 5-time national champion at Maryland, I'm Joe Beninati. This is the last go-round for these teams. So, Courtney, collectively, what would you advise for them?
You know, obviously, everyone wants to finish strong. This is their 3rd game with these respective teams. They will not play together again, but they also want to make sure they're doing those individual things well. They want to look good so that way they're picked high enough in the draft that'll happen tomorrow.
Sam Apuzzo isn't used to losing in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, but she suffered a setback yesterday despite another 3-goal performance.
You know, Sam is doing everything she needs to do on the field, whether it's winning draw controls, scoring goals, assisting teammates. She's quite the competitor. She's a true triple threat, but Sam Apuzzo is going to need help from those around her if they're going to come up with the win today.
Dynamic around the crease. Taylor Marino looking every bit like the player capable of repeating as champion. Her daily point totals are skyrocketing.
She is a stalwart in cage, plain and simple. She is a great threat to any shooter, whether it's a 1v none or a fast break situation. She stands tall, incredibly reactionary inside the goal, and she is tough to beat.
She has been a brick wall at times. Maria Tribalpiece, our sideline reporter, has more on Marino and her busy day life.
When Taylor Marino isn't on the lacrosse field, she's actually working as an account executive for Davos Incorporated. It is remote, and she said her boss has been incredibly flexible, which is super helpful. She does some graphic development, communicates with clients, and back to her boss, he's actually a huge lacrosse fan, and he might come out to some Athletes Unlimited games to see Taylor play this season.
A supportive boss, you don't get any better than that, especially one who knows the sport of lacrosse. What a beautiful sport it is. And these 56 athletes have done a tremendous job of displaying it here throughout Athletes Unlimited in Season 3.
Lacrosse fans, you know by now, Athletes Unlimited very fond of hearing from the players as the game moves along. Today, Nicole Levy is joining us. Nicole, I hear you, you hear me. I can see you reaching for your ear. They tell you never to do that when you're a secret agent. So tell me, what's the key to victory today for Team Marino?
Yeah, well, I think a big one for us is we haven't been getting a lot of shots lately, but the ones that we do get fall. I mean, Katie Glenn is a great goalie. She's one of the most patient ones I've ever won against, so it's going to be super crucial that we throw a couple fakes and be deceptive. Not just one, but I'm talking 3 or 4.
The energy coming into this game today, you guys are the lone team with 2 wins heading into the 3rd game. What's the game plan?
Game plan is just continue what we're doing, you know, working with our IQ that we have. We got a lot of vets on this attack especially. we all have fun sharing the ball and working together, and I think that means more than anything else in this game is just playing, having fun, and working well together. And we do a really good job of that based off of our IQ so far.
Nicole, thanks very much for chatting with us, and keep that earpiece in. We are going to be talking to you live during the game today. We appreciate it.
I am looking forward to it. Thank you.
You got it, champ. Nicole Levy getting set. Team Marino. The defending champ is Taylor Marino, #1 on the Athletes Unlimited charts a season ago. 56 players in residence here in Sparks, Maryland, off and running in the second of 2 games today on ESPN2. Joe Beninati, Courtney Martinez-Connor, Maria Tribal Piece with you. Earlier today, Team Reed, a 14-10 decision over Team Mastriani. Team Apuzzo is in orange. Team Marino is in gold. You have 20 seconds to clear the midline in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. No trouble. And here comes the captain, Sam Apuzzo, for her squad in orange. Amanda Johansson, who leads everyone in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse history in 2-point goals. You see the 8-meter arc. Score with both feet behind that arc. You get 2 points for the team and 16 for yourself. Dorney, the rookie out of Notre Dame, angles in, forced back by Haley Warden. Warden has been climbing steadily among the leaderboard candidates. Apuzzo on the go. Jitterbugs in against Wakefield. Lets it fly and scores! Sam Apuzzo.
First draw control, first possession, first goal for Team Apuzzo. Rightly so, they got the ball into the ever-capable hands of their captain, wearing number 14, Sam Apuzzo. Everybody touched the ball, so that was a little different than what we've seen in past games. Everybody touched the ball first before they looked to sweep. And then Sam Apuzzo, again, very precise in her shooting.
Mira Shane is always dancing in support of Sam Apuzzo. Apuzzo on the board with goals in all 3 games this week. Week 1 of Season 3 in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. And Sam will tell you she wants to be at her best in the most intense moments. Off of the loss yesterday to Team Reed, you look at the leaderboard, Team Marino on top, a whole lot of purple after Team Reed's convincing win earlier in the day. But after yesterday's loss, you know that Sam Apuzzo will be very committed to racking up as many points as possible for both herself and her orange-clad teammates.
Back-to-back 2 possessions, the very first draw controls. We see her coming in after she switched draw sticks, telling everyone, let's slow it down. Ideally, when you win possession, you want it to culminate in a quality shot. May not be a goal every time.
This Whistler on the run hits pay dirt. Hannah Dorney getting the better of Taylor Marino. 2-0 early.
Did I say may not be a goal every time? Well, here, first 2 possessions for Team Apuzzo. Hannah Dorney, number 44, again, another little righty sweep. Soon as she switches hands again, no defensive players making contact with her. Haley Warden on the defensive end. If you give a lot of space to your attackers, they're gonna take it. If they have time to wind up and shoot, it means tough things for the keeper. 2-0 here early in the game already for Team Apuzzo.
Dorney, who had an assist against Mastriani back on Thursday, gets her first goal as a pro. She started playing hoops way back in kindergarten. She's a basketball fan. She was the 2nd rookie chosen back on Monday, the initial draft for week 1. She scored and looked really good, scored twice in the scrimmage. That's what caught the eye of Sam Apuzzo. 2-0 advantage for the team in the orange. Still shy of the 2-minute mark. And draw control, 2 more points for Abby Bosco, the rookie defender out of Maryland. All these individual stat points add up. There are team points on the line quarter by quarter for each of the 14 players on the roster. When you win a quarter, everybody gets 20. For the win of the game, you get 45. There's MVP voting. Ow, Radigan spun around and down, and she looks to be injured back behind the cage. Rookie high-scoring Haley Radigan hobbling, and now asked by her teammates to chill for a moment and have a seat. Our athletic trainers, provided by MedStar Health. Earlier today, Jeremy Docker, Gabe Luciani were on the field. Athletic trainers tending to Haley Radigan now as she makes her wobbly way to the sideline, nicked in the game's first 2 minutes.
In game one today, we saw a player from Team Reed go down, Cookie Carr. Now Haley Radigan. Obviously, we always wish the players well and hope to see them back on the field as quickly as possible.
Haley Radigan, as soon as she planted her feet back behind the cage, you could tell instantly that there was some pain. It happened right behind the cage, guarded by Taylor Marino. Just tuning in with us on ESPN2, second game of 2 today. Team Reed victorious 14-10 in the opener, and strikes from Sam Apuzzo and Hannah Dorney have given Team Apuzzo the early advantage as we get back to work. And we'll await word, any report that we can muster on Haley Radigan. Dorney gets to the alley, goes back behind the cage. Taylor Vanthoff is there. This is Lauren Gilbert, who a season ago was an incredibly high-scoring rookie in Athletes Unlimited. Bouncer here from Dorney, and there's the first save on the day. 5 points on the leaderboard total for Taylor Marino.
Sometimes that's all it takes to get your first save under the belt. Then you're more apt to feel confident. Let those saves build upon one another. Same thing goes for offense.
Courtney, for anybody who's been watching the first 3 games of Athletes Unlimited, especially Team Marino, Taylor wasn't giving up any goals, hardly any goals in the first half of either of the first 2 outings. It was surprising to see the first 2 shots get canned by Team Apuzzo against her today. McCool gliding in. Marie draws 2 defenders. O'Donnell was there with Johansson. Twist it for Sammy Jo Tracy, then on the flank to Kenzie Kent. Off the flip for the hard-shooting Fortunato. She'll invert. Shot clock's at 12. Fortunato sails that one high and wide of Katie Glynn. Veteran and reliable stopper in the goal for Team Apuzzo. Off the end line, Nicole Levy's pass is a bit tall for Haley Warden. That'll be a shot clock violation against Team Marino. It has not been the best of starts for the team in goal.
The flow that they've been in offensively earlier in their first 2 games of the series, they've done a good job of moving the ball quickly, being dynamic, and we just haven't seen that. It's been a little bit stagnant on that side.
I was going to say, Team Marino's goal scoring hasn't been overly dominant. 8-4 win, 7-6 win. Backed up, of course, by a stout defense and the all-world net minding. Dorney's a long way from the cage, well behind the 2-point arc. Against Warden, who trades her off to the defensive Ali Palermo. Palermo looking after her former Northwestern teammate there in Lauren Gilbert. Back to their collegiate days in Evanston. Vanthoff thought about the 2. Quick trigger there from Gilbert on the run, sails high. In lacrosse, closest to the ball where and when it leaves the field gets possession, and the officials say it belongs to Team Marino. Officials today, Patty Clutcher-Porter, Erica Leslie, Ronnie Anton, and Liz Brush. Lynn Bowers, as usual, is the table official. She'll handle any challenges or officials' reviews.
Not surprising, coming back with that caused turnover, Team Apuzzo. Sam Apuzzo wearing number 14 in orange. She is relentless in the ride, loves to get that ball back, win it for her team. This time they have back-to-back offensive possessions.
Goes to the split dodge. That pass there for Apuzzo rattles around the frame and out. Sam tracks it down. Almost halfway home in the opening quarter. 20 points available for the team that wins each frame. Season-long quest to be number 1. 56 athletes in residence here in Sparks, Maryland. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse Season 3. Championship season number 4 for softball on the horizon. Begins July 28th in Rosemont, Illinois. Give and go on the intercept there. That ball was down, looking for Dorney. This is Gilbert, halfway through the shot clock. Fiedler. Feed inside, gets away from Apuzzo. It's a turnover caused there for Haley Warden. Warden's been among the leaders in Athletes Unlimited season after season in that department. And Courtney, you get a lot of points when you cause turnovers in this league.
She's so very consistent all over the field. She's a midfielder, but she's a connector. So the fact that she can cause a turnover, score a goal, pass it in transition as an assist, that's how she's able to get so many points individually. But then obviously her team winning she's getting quarter points and win points too.
Fortunato driving in. It's an all-rookie defense in orange. Sam Apuzzo chose 4 first-year defenders in the draft back on Monday. Kent feeds Fortunato. Courtney fumbled it out of her cross. Marge Donovan is there, 80 in the orange. A lift check given by Kenzie Kent, and along the sideline, the officials will say it is Team Apuzzo ball. Three minutes and 30 seconds left in the opening quarter. We'll take this TV timeout with you. Get you back for more Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, presented by Aspiration. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN is sponsored by Aspiration, a global leader in financing climate impact. Fans on a sun-baked Sunday here in Sparks, Maryland, just about 20 minutes or so north of Baltimore, Charm City, where today we're enjoying Team Apuzzo and Team Marino. We have a star in the stands too, Courtney. It's Alex Ost-Holman. Alex, off of your performance with Team Mastriani, I know the wins and losses didn't go your way this particular week. Give us your review of the performance.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a bummer to lose, but I actually thought our team battled every single quarter, which is really important out here, and it's kind of a fun nuance to our league. You know, it makes it exciting. So yeah, tough 0-3 on the weekend, but it's kind of why this league is amazing. We get to shake it up and start again tomorrow.
Alex, when you look ahead to the draft, I know there's a lot of anticipation as everybody's figuring out which team they will go to. What do you guys do when the draft is happening?
I mean, you just kind of, it's honestly kind of sad because you get to shake it up right when you feel like you're gelling with your team. But you just kind of wait and see where you're placed and then hope to, you know, make connections as quickly as possible and continue to, you know, play great lacrosse out here.
Folks can see it just by the smile on your face that you're thrilled to be here. There's so much of a collegiate-type atmosphere, all the players in residence. What's it like to pal around with a lot of the players that were former college teammates and former college adversaries?
Oh, it's literally the best. I mean, I know you guys just said it, but it really is a college atmosphere, but it's fun to, you know, become besties with your enemies on the field. However, I don't have very many enemies anymore because I'm one of the older ones out here, but it's really cool to play with, you know, the young guns and see all their talent and learn from them. And it's, yeah, I couldn't be happier to be here.
As I look through our notes that we had taken from Media Day, you said meals with friends, movies, sleepovers. It just sounds like a fun summer camp where you get to play the best sport in the world. But you guys do other fun things off the field, from pickleball. Talk about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you think we're competitive out here. See us on the pickleball court. We are out there slapping it at each other, body balls all over the place. But we might have to start an Athletes Unlimited for pickleball, honestly.
Our star in the stands is Alex Ost-Holman. Alex, stay right there with us. We'll be with you. Going to talk with you a little bit more as this quarter unfolds. A final 3 minutes left in the first. Vanthoff back behind the cage. Alex, you're not afraid to bring donuts to practice. Has that happened again this season?
Not yet, man. That might be what I'm lacking. I got to start bringing the food. I know my mother actually brought a lot of food this weekend, but I'm going to start bribing with donuts pre and post game.
It's probably a good way to make amends and make friends at the same time as Gilbert hesitates and fidgets, finds O'Donnell on the bouncer that goes wide. Alex, we saw the bounce shot there. So many goals are scored from a high-to-high angle. What's the benefit of a good bounce shot?
Oh, man. I mean, it's really hard to read, right? And especially since these defenders are so good, you kind of let your defender screen you a little bit. So the bouncers are the way to go, especially on our strong goaltenders here. You could really try and make that switch up. So I don't know if I've seen a shot go high-to-high in on Taylor, so you got to kind of try and throw a little bit something different at her.
Alex, we've seen a lot of defenders moving up the leaderboard this season. What do you think you can attribute that to?
Oh, I mean, they're just so physical. All of their caused turnovers and ground balls. And what just happened here, running the ball out, chasing the ball out after a shot, that's huge. I mean, that's such a big change of possession. So to be able to see these defenders, you know, get credit for those big-time plays is really cool.
O'Donnell on the clear. 20 seconds to clear the midline in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. It's a low-scoring game, 2-0 for Team Apuzzo. Alex Ost-Holman is our star in the stands. And Alex, if you were on the sideline in a coaching or a facilitator capacity, what would you be advising Team Marino to untrack the offense for them?
I mean, you got to share the ball, right? Just keep it loose. I think third game on the weekend, it starts to get a little sticky and everyone's, you know, a little bit tired and banged up. So it's all about trusting the process and just keep that ball whizzing around and, you know, they'll start to fall.
O'Donnell gets the alley, didn't pull the trigger in time, defended by Garrett. Sneak attack there from Vanthoff, and Marino's at the end of the line.
Alex, one more from me. I know you're a multi-sport athlete. For all those young players who are watching, what can you advise them to do as they're growing up?
Oh my gosh, play as many sports as possible. Enjoy it while you're out there. I always say you want to love lacrosse and not get burnt out from it. And it makes you, every single person out here that's incredible played at least 2 to 3 sports all the way through until college. So keep it going, keep it fresh, make sure your passion, you know, is there, but make sure you're always having fun. That's the most important part.
Alex Ost-Holman, thanks for spending time with us. You'll be back in the third. In the meantime, say hi to Marcus for me.
Will do.
Perhaps a last touch now for Team Marino in gold. Levy outside the 2-point arc, 8 meters from the cage. Final 18 seconds of the frame, 10 ticks on the shot clock. Levy, who's good from behind that arc. She scored a bunch of 2s in the inaugural Athletes Unlimited season. Fortunato, no slouch as well. Long drive, McCool, answered by Glynn with 4 seconds to go. The outlet pass picked up by Bosco, down, and just as time expires in the opening 10. So the 20 points for the quarter belong to Team Apuzzo, as Katie Glynn and Team Apuzzo blank Team Marino. Turnabout is fair play against the defending champion. 1/4 of the way home. Second game of the double dip in Sparks, Maryland. Dancing and jumping for joy so far for Team Apuzzo. In front of the lacrosse lovers here in Sparks, Maryland, just 2 lonely goals to talk about in that opening quarter. Strikes from Sam Apuzzo and Hannah Dorney, and it's Team Apuzzo out in front by 2, and each player on the roster for Team Apuzzo claiming 20 points as a result. The next WNBA action on ESPN, it's Asia Wilson and the 20-2 Aces. That's a nice record, best record in the league, in fact. They square off against Kalia Cooper and the Sky. Comes your way Tuesday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Also available on ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app. While we have a moment before we start the second quarter, let's check in with Maria Trivalpiece. She has a report on Haley Radigan.
Haley Radigan Radigan needed to be helped off the field. We were being told that it was a lower body injury. She went back to the tunnel to see a doctor, and she's currently standing in the tunnel observing the game.
Maria, thank you for the update. Haley Radigan, a pretty interesting first week as a pro for her, huh, Courtney? Think back to her first game as a professional. She was red carded and booted from that game. Now injured in her third.
And don't forget the yellow that she had in game 2. I think she was a little bit gun shy when on offense, not wanting to hit another defensive player, and then unfortunately, potentially being out the remainder of this game.
Radigan is another marvelous offensive talent coming off of a 62-goal season with Northwestern, winning a national championship with Kelly Amonte Hiller's Wildcats.
You know, they were dominant this year. They beat Boston College in the championship game. It wasn't even close. They were just showcasing their offensive skill. Izzy Skane, Haley Radigan, I mean, they just did a number offensively.
It's just amazing to watch the women's college game, the growing number of NCAA women's lacrosse programs. It's what, well over 500 now across all the divisions?
Yes, about 120 at the Division I level, and the fact that we have 6 is another discipline. World Championships, that's a 10v10 format, a little bit different than this. Each of them have their own unique nuances, but Athletes Unlimited, what's so great is it's nonstop. The shot clock is faster. It's all elite athletes from all over the world, 56 of them playing together.
And so many of these athletes, Courtney, are coaches at the different divisions across the United States. In fact, we had news earlier today about veteran defender Cookie Carr being named as the head coach at Towson.
That's right. Marie McCool with the ball. She's an assistant coach at UNC, her alma mater.
Fortunato rings a pipe early on in the second quarter. Long rebound. Courtney using her body positioning well there to come up with a ground ball. Brand new 60-second shot clock for the team in gold. Garrett, Molly Garrett, got engaged last year, didn't play Athletes Unlimited lacrosse. Levy on the flip. Warden closes. That snapshot sailed high, and there was a whistle prior to that shot's release.
An offensive foul. They're going to be giving possession to Team Apuzzo. Calling a block on the offensive end of the field. One of the best parts, watching the speed that you see all of these players. It's not a couple players who are fast. Although number 1 streaking through the field, Lauren Gilbert, she is probably the fastest player here in Athletes Unlimited, as she was the fastest player in NCAA play during her time at Northwestern.
Interestingly enough, after the highest scoring game of the week, the 14-10 game, Team Reed victorious earlier today on ESPN2. This one has been goal-starved, just 2 strikes. Team Apuzzo scored on its first 2 shots. In orange, they're 0 for 6 since. Johansson for 2, and that's snared by the netminder Marino.
Every single player in gold and orange that you see on the leaderboard, they're going to continue to move up as the game progresses.
McCool flying in, face dodge, Fortunato just bounced it wide. Backed up by Kenzie Kent. Kent, ever the playmaker. Quickness. She just glides. Finding Garrett from the top. Picked up on the outside by the young defender, Katie Detweiler, who's made a good impression in her first weekend as a pro. There's Hawkins on the check, and McCool with a bounce shot to score. Marie McCool.
Marie McCool, talk about a smooth player on the field. She is a true 2-way midfielder. It's almost a dying breed. She can just run forever. But very fluid skills, relaxed, not a lot of angle here. We call that a 5-hole shot right between the goalie's legs, well placed. We're gonna see Marie McCool back at the draw circle. She battles it out to gain possession for her team. Not a lot of talk about the importance of the draw at any level, but it is so important. You don't have the draw, you don't have possession of the ball, you can't score a goal.
McCool with goals in all 3 games this week. Folks from the promo department, for every assist during this year's Athletes Unlimited lacrosse season, Aspiration committed to planting 10 trees. Stay tuned throughout the season, see how many trees will be planted thanks to Aspirations support. Apuzzo and Warden inside the draw circle. And a whole lot of commotion will happen as the ball flies, and Bosco read it well. Abby Bosco, 55 in the orange for Team Apuzzo. Setting up Lauren Gilbert, 6-on-6 this end of the field. Nearing the 3-minute mark of the second quarter.
Team Marino needs to neutralize Team Apuzzo at the draw. Abby Bosco had 6 draw controls in the matchup yesterday. She tracks the ball well, that's sighting it. She moves while the ball is in the air.
Apuzzo attacking from the top. We see her, she's almost positionless. You'll find 14 orange all around the offensive set. Dorney inside, turning. Johansson sticks it home. Amanda Johansson.
Again, some different sets from Team Apuzzo, except for that. Mira Shane, she is always moving and grooving on the sideline. Hannah Dorney, she has a tall target inside with Amanda Johansson, who stands at just shy of 6 feet. A different setup, pumping the ball inside, stick swinging. Amanda Johansson able to bring it in, relaxed under pressure. A little Spinderella action in there.
Spinderella, first of the summer from Courtney Martinez-Connor. Amanda Johansson, she said that lacrosse really embodies all the different sports she grew up playing. She played a lot of soccer and hoops, as well as lacrosse. Picks up 12 points for her individual leaderboard tally. You'll be seeing the leaderboard left side of your screen throughout the day. This is the final day of week 1. After the MVP voting is tabulated, after this game is complete, we'll have the top 4 listed as the new captains for week 2. Tomorrow afternoon, the draft will be conducted. Right now, these players are all looking to put their best foot forward to improve their draft positioning for the respective captains. Sam Apuzzo against Taylor Marino in this one. It's the 4th straight weekend, last 3 of last season and this first one, where they have been in the orange and gold and culminating the week's work. Apuzzo with Gilbert, and then Dorney on the outside. The bouncer that's eaten up by Marino. Remember, Team Apuzzo, 1 player short with Haley Radigan sustaining an injury in the opening quarter. We've not seen her return. Her return is questionable. Levy has control. Nicole's been wearing a microphone for us today. Right now she's set to orchestrate the offense for Team Marino.
Now, they've done such a good job of using one another, moving the ball well when they're flowing on the offensive end of the field. They have a lot of weapons out there, Kenzie Kent namely being one of them.
Garrett on the go, rejected there by Katie Glynn. Every goalie save is worth 5 this season. That's a 1-point reduction from the 6 they gave the netminders in the first 2 campaigns.
And every single goalie that we've talked to said they feel that it's fair and equitable. It's just gone down with 1 point. The fact that they have been able to still maintain at the top of the leaderboard shows that they're still doing their job in goal.
Katie Glynn with a couple stops today. Taylor Marino already with 4. Halfway through the quarter, second quarter action. Gilbert on the face dodge against Palermo. Courtney, if you were playing against a college teammate, would the defender have the advantage or the offensive player? You knew each other's tendencies so well, like Palermo and Gilbert do.
You know, oftentimes you think you know your teammate so well, but then that's when they've been working and training, as all of these players are doing. They're upping their game that much more.
Apuzzo for 2, rips it home.
Sam Apuzzo firing on all cylinders offensively. This is her 2nd goal of the game, but this one is a 2-point. As soon as she catches the ball, you see her use that pick to square up, and she fires away. This is good for 2 here in Athletes Unlimited.
Team Apuzzo stretching the lead out off of a 2-point goal, most recently from its captain. They've got a 5-1 advantage over Team Marino in second quarter play, and 20 points on the line for each of the players on the winning side per quarter. Folks, in PLL play, Saturday on ESPN Plus at 6 and 8:30 Eastern. Then Sunday, we have the Water Dogs and the Archers at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. That'll air on ABC and ESPN Plus. Followed by the Whip Snakes and Chaos, that one only on ESPN Plus. All the games coming from the Ford Center, the Cowboys indoor stadium in Frisco, Texas. Folks enjoying the festivities today. Nicole Levy is wearing gold for Team Marino. She's also wearing a microphone. We can go into the game with her with Air National Guard.
I forgot my mouth guard, you guys. Yeah. Real quick, they're getting so lost off ball. They're young. We need to address this. We gotta expose them for this, right? Yeah. I'm not trying to do anything. Like, if you're just cutting through to clear space, great, but also set a pick on whoever's opposite. Not only one, will it open up each other, but two, it'll force you to get all the way out and then stopping and kind of just filtering out of the 8. Sprint through it, set that hard pick, let somebody come off, then pop.
As is often the case, Nicole Levy giving instructions in those huddles. There are no coaches, Courtney, in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. There are facilitators. Team Marino's facilitator this week's been Amber Hill, former netminder in Athletes Unlimited from season 1. But a lot of the times you see Nicole putting down the whiteboard. She's one of the more vocal players in gold this week as far as diagramming plays and setting strategy.
Nicole loves to break down the opposing defenses. She's very good at that. She's an assistant coach at Florida. She had her collegiate career at Syracuse. Very creative, so I have no doubt that they're going to make a change.
Nicole, thanks for putting your ears on. We appreciate it, and we're going to talk with you live. We're going to let you talk us through a lot of the upcoming play. What were your thoughts from the opening 10 minutes today and now well into the second quarter?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it as a group. We're facing a pretty young defense right now, so we knew lots of picks, and you know, my friends over here they're used to college, so they like to fight through these picks, but here it's a little bit different, it's a little bit more physical, so we're trying to utilize a little bit more of this 2-man game and really squaring up and getting it into a flow.
Nicole, the draws have been in favor of Team Apuzzo 5-1. The score is 5-1. How do you flip that script?
Yeah, I mean, in a normal situation in any other type of lacrosse, I would say that's definitely crucial, but we've actually lost the draws in the last 2 games, so I think it's more about putting it in the back of the net and stopping them from doing that at this point.
Nicole, stay with us. We're going to ride your microphone live now. We want to hear your chatter.
Oh.
You're in charge now for the next few moments.
All right.
No pressure. No pressure, 2-8.
No pressure. I love it. Let's do it.
Go get them.
All right. Thank you. Hey, tie your shoe, bud. Yeah, Kent. Sam, do you want low or high? Oh, she's going. Yeah, Molly, that's it. Let's go. Nice cut. Let's go. Slow break. Yeah, I know.
Little shovel assist there from Nicole Levy. Works out well for Molly Garrett.
I love to hear her communication. Off ball, you see her communicating immediately with Sammy Jo Tracy. Communicating which spot you want. She dishes the ball off to Molly Garrett. Again, it's the vision, the creativity, the flexibility to maneuver any and everywhere on the field. That time, a lot of people touching the ball offensively for Team Marino.
Nicole, what made you give that pass up rather than shoot it yourself?
That's a good question. We didn't really have the numbers, but then I kind of saw that slide coming in. I trust Molly all day. I had our first goal this weekend was an assist to her, and I trust the ball on her stick. I know she's ready to go, so it was pretty easy for me. I just saw it and did it.
She made it pay off. Thanks very much, Nicole. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, anytime. Thank you.
5-2. Team Apuzzo in orange has the lead. In the second quarter alone, we have the scoring level at 2 apiece. as we are ever mindful of those 20 points that are available from frame to frame for the team that scores the most in that 10-minute stretch. Apuzzo back in the draw circle, ball down. Marie McCool is always a hawk around that circle, so quick. And there she is coming up with the draw control, then checked out of her cross by Apuzzo. Another ground ball tussle. Out of the pack, it turns into a youth league game amongst pros.
I'm not even in, well, there was possession. That's right, Kenzie Kent got the ball first. She maneuvered it out. I was wondering how all players were inside, but there you go.
Athletes Unlimited Rugby comes your way. That's what it looked like there for a while.
Get low. Scrape those knuckles to the ground.
There she is. There's the coach coming out, and Courtney Martinez-Connor, a 5-time national champion during her playing days at Maryland. It's 5-2 for Team Apuzzo, a little bit more than 3 minutes with which to work. So glad you've tuned in there with us all day long. Athletes Unlimited taking control of the ESPN2 airwaves.
Amy Moreau just got hit in the head, so Team Apuzzo got away with one on that last one. This could have been a man-down situation for them. But instead, they have the ball and are going the other way.
And it's Abby Bosco running for cover. Bosco, who had a couple of turnovers and a couple of caused turnovers against Team Mastriani back on opening night. This is the third and final game for each of these two sides. And remember, at the end of business today, the top 4 on the leaderboard, the new captains will draft new teams tomorrow. We'll get you set for a double dip that begins Thursday in the week ahead. Apuzzo with Wakefield hung up, looking for Gilbert. Once more for Sam. Sharp angle, Van Thoth. Sneak attack, that's ripped off the face mask of Marino, who is hugging the post. And back we go. Folks, Athletes Unlimited in tops. With Sammy Jo Tracy on the go, working in. Whistle stops play. Athletes Unlimited in tops, unveiling the first ever set of trading cards that feature all 4 Athletes Unlimited sports combining into one set. 200 card base set featuring 185 athletes from the 2022 seasons. They're available at major retailers, Target, Barnes & Noble, plus hobby shops and through Topps.com, as well as Fanatics.com. See one of Caroline Wakefield, who's been very entertaining with us in seasons past and already this season while she's been wearing a microphone. Longtime defender out of North Carolina.
She's got quite a personality, much like Nicole Levy. Opposite ends of the field, same team, but I can imagine if those two ever matched up on one another, it'd be some colorful conversation.
Sammy Jo Tracy, from a pretty severe angle, will choose Nicole Levy. Less than 2 minutes remaining in our first half today. Sammy Jo, who is desperately looking to make a SportsCenter top 10 moment. McCool fires, answered by Glynn. Katie saw it all the way, ankle high. Katie Glynn, for a long time, taught by her dad, Ted, former lacrosse goalie.
You know, I like the look from downtown. Want to get another quick 2 points to close the gap. But in a player-up situation, do the easy. You had time. Marie McCool could have carried that ball to the inside a little bit more.
O'Donnell bluffing a shot against Warden. Sets it up top for Lauren Gilbert. 20 seconds to shoot, 1 minute in the half. Apuzzo wants it. Split dodge from right to left. Johansson's always that 2-point threat. That pass crosses up O'Donnell. This is a turnover. Back to Team Marino.
And who else coming up with that ball? Taylor Marino getting those caused turnover points. Again, as the clock winds down, they're going to want to work quickly.
Great point by you, Courtney. That's an easy 14 for Taylor Marino, but then she gives it right back. So now her team has to hustle and get back into defensive position. Final 22 seconds of this opening half. Quarter points are level by my scoreboard, 2-2, so this could be another carryover situation.
3 points for Team Apuzzo.
Long drive here, score! Gilbert.
Signature barrel rolls on the sideline from Mira Shane. Fast break transition, Amanda Johansson to O'Donnell. Power shot, Lauren Gilbert. She's small, but she is mighty. She generates a lot of speed and torque, getting her whole body involved. They were leading this second quarter by a score of 3-2 off a 2-point goal from Sam Apuzzo, and now they've just extended that to 4-2 here in the second quarter. Overall score by 6.
Thanks for double checking my math. With 7 seconds left, the lone goals from Team Marino in this frame, McCool and Garrett on the board. Sam Apuzzo's squad entering today with a mark of 1-1. Taylor Marino's in gold, 2-0 for Marino, the defending Athletes Unlimited champ. Final game of weekend number 1. Vanthof digging in on the draw against Sammy Jo Tracy.
And that one hurts. Right at the end of the second quarter. Team Marino in gold. They had the ball. They coughed it up there at the very end.
Sammy Jo will celebrate a birthday this coming week. Able to win that draw, flex it on as time expires in the first 20 minutes with Team Apuzzo in control, 6-2. Team Apuzzo winning the first and second quarter, sweeping all 40 points, available from frame to frame. Apuzzo from the outside, Garrett from the inside. The scoring has heated up in the second quarter. Lauren Gilbert always energized when she turns the light on, and Caroline Wakefield will look to put a blanket over her in the second half. Your thoughts, Courtney, after 2 quarters complete?
You know, I think Team Apuzzo, they're just dominating at the draw. They're controlling the pace of play. It's definitely benefiting them, despite the fact that they are down a player on the field. They are still attacking the goal hard and fast. Now, I'm curious if they can continue to do that without an extra pair of legs.
Let's hear from Captain Sam Apuzzo. She's standing by with Maria Tribalpiece.
Sam, Taylor Marino has been stellar in goal all weekend, but you take a 6-2 lead on her in this first half. How did you approach this game offensively to be able to do that?
We were just talking about in the locker room to play fast, play hard. Taylor's a tremendous goalie, and we know she can bounce back in any second now. So we're ready, we're prepared, but we just got to keep to our simple shooting and keep shooting hard.
You're up at the half, but you also won both quarters. How important does that become?
It helps our momentum going into halftime. But like I said, they're a great team. They have really great players. So just trying to keep us level, to keep us steady, and going into the next half.
I heard Mira Shane talking. She said the ball movement is spicy. How would you describe the ball movement in that first half?
Yeah, our whole goal was coming into this game to keep the ball hot, keep the ball, and everyone stick, a lot of touches. It's hot out here, right? We learned from last game too. We just want to keep the ball moving fast and be aggressive.
Keep the ball moving fast and stay cool. Sam, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Back to you, Joe.
And spicy, Maria. Volcano-like spicy. 6-2 for Team Apuzzo. Stick around. We'll hear from a few members of the rookie class in Athletes Unlimited when we're at the half on ESPN. We're halfway home in a highly anticipated matchup between Team Apuzzo and Team Marino. 20 action-packed minutes under the sun in Sparks, Maryland. And a chance to meet talented rookie defender Abby Bosco, who shared these thoughts reflecting back on the Athletes Unlimited College Draft.
Our next pick here, it's a defender from Maryland, Abby Bosco.
It's just a surreal feeling. It's like what you dream of as a little kid, and then your dreams come true. That doesn't always happen. It's just an accumulation of everything I've put into this sport for the last, 20 years. I started playing when I was 4. So all the hard work, the extra hours, the weekends that you spend at tournaments, and then just that grind, just all of it paying off, and getting to share the field with some of the legends and all-time greats of lacrosse is just such an honor.
Bosco has fit right in during her opening weekend as a professional. Friends, when we return, we'll hear from another rookie defender quickly learning the ropes. We'll introduce you to Marge Donovan after these messages. We played 20 minutes here at USA Lacrosse headquarters. The opening weekend of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse winding to a close. Team Apuzzo, Team Marino resting up for quarter number 3. Sam picked 4 rookie defenders to backstop her team this week. One of them, Marge Donovan, who shared her thoughts on hearing her name in the Athletes Unlimited College Draft.
Next up is a defender from Maryland, Marge Donovan.
I think it's like what every young athlete dreams about is playing their sport at the highest level. You know, you start at playing in your neighborhood, or then playing rec and travel, and it just felt like it's all built up to this moment where I can play with some of the most incredible players in the world. I've always wanted to compete at the highest level, and it's just a blessing to be able to do so.
Donovan had a couple caused turnovers yesterday. She appears comfortable at the pro level. And we invite you to stay there with us, because coming up after this break, Courtney Martinez, Connor, and I have first half highlights from Team Apuzzo and Team Marino. Flying the colors here in the state of Maryland. We're in Sparks, Maryland, some 20 miles north of Charm City, Baltimore. USA Lacrosse headquarters, the home venue for Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse in Season 3 at the halftime break with Team Apuzzo out in front of Team Marino. Joe Beninati, Courtney Martinez-Connor with you. And Courtney, we were talking about Sam Apuzzo drafting 4 rookies back on Monday. How have those rookie defenders acquitted themselves so far in Athletes Unlimited?
You know, they've done a great job. She talked about them being confident coming off of their collegiate season, and that is definitely the case. They're talking, they're working, they're playing team defense, which is most important when you have such a potent offense.
Very rare to see a team led by Sam Apuzzo lose. They lost a setback yesterday. They came out with a vengeance today, led by the captain in the game's first minute.
Sam Apuzzo is doing a great job of just getting her team going. She scored the very first goal, and then off another righty sweep was Hannah Dorney. And then they just started moving the ball well, getting everyone involved. Amanda Johansson, again, Sam Apuzzo with a laser rocket. She was well outside of that line for a 2-pointer. And then moving the ball one more time, fast break transition, and that was all due to a really hard ride.
Gilbert with the single, Apuzzo with the 2, her 6th career 2-pointer, helping to fuel the advantage. It's a 6-2 lead for Team Apuzzo when we start the third quarter with you in a moment. Four of the last 5 points in the opening half belonging to Team Apuzzo as a result, a 6-2 leader after 20 minutes. Before we start the third, here's Maria Tribalpiece with thoughts from Team Marino captain Taylor.
Taylor Marino told me that her team communicated well at the beginning of the first half, but as the game went on, they overcommitted a bit too much and they were a little overzealous. She wants to see them slow the pace in the second half.
Maria, thank you. Before we start the third quarter, we see Taylor Marino jogging back to the crease. Nicole Levy is with us. She's standing on the sideline to start the third quarter. Nicole, with the score reading as it does, 6-2, how does your team rally back?
Well, considering this is Athletes Unlimited and the only thing that really matters is winning the quarters in order to get those points, we're just going to focus on chipping away. one quarter at a time, and if we win the game, great. But you know, we're looking for those quarter points at this point. We don't need to get swept out here.
You're always talking about having fun on the field and staying loose. How incredibly hard is that to do when you're down and know that you have a distance to chip away at?
It's actually not that hard at all. You know, I think it adds an aspect of like competition and a little bit more to go for. If anything, I love to handle that pressure and have fun with it, especially with a squad like we have here today. I mean, we're smiling, laughing in the locker room no matter what. We know we're coming out on fire. So just because we had a tough start doesn't mean we're not going to finish strong.
Nicole, thanks for making us smarter. We appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.
6-2, Team Apuzzo has the lead. The team in orange has the ball. As we get rolling in the third, you're about to see the in-game leaderboard, those players who have amassed the most points just in this game in particular. Remember, this is the 6th game of 24 this season, so Sam Apuzzo at 88 just within this game alone. Taylor Marino was, at the outset of today, Courtney was looking at banking better than 500 in 1 week, which is an extraordinary total. It's only happened a handful of times in the past. She's done it once, in fact. She had the best week of all, and she had the best Thursday of all on opening night.
She does own the highest points ever. Week 1 in season last year, season 2 with 581 points.
Moreau gets to the interior, defended there by both O'Donnell and Johansson. They caused the turnover, and back comes Team Apuzzo. The wind starting to kick up on what has been a very hot day. Temperatures in the mid to low 90s. Fans having a blast, applying the sunscreen and watching a couple of great Athletes Unlimited games. Team Reed earlier today, the team wearing purple, a 14-10 win over Team Mastriani, and a lot of those players in purple are among the tops on the leaderboard. Top 4 when we're through with today. After the MVP voting, they'll be the new captains for the week ahead as Palermo breezes down the sideline. Ali Palermo on one hop for Fortunato. 6-on-6 at this end of the field. There's a 60-second shot clock in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. You see the 8-meter arc. If you score from behind it with both feet planted behind, you'll get 2 points for your team, 16 for yourself on the leaderboard. Sammy Joe on the flip, then sets the screen for Kenzie Kent. Rolling to the inside. Kent off the redodge. The sidewinder went wide of the goal. It'll be possession for Team Marino in gold in lacrosse. Closest to the ball, where and when it leaves the field, gets possession on a shot. McCool back on the scoreboard again today. Goals in all 3 games this week. Marie McCool on the bouncer. Turned away. It's Katie Glynn at the end of the line once more. 6-2 for Team Apuzzo. There's your overall leaderboard. Taylor Marino better than 400 points, and a whole lot of players chasing her who wore purple this week.
All the players in purple, they are done with their games today, so they're not going to maneuver anywhere. However, those in the gold and orange jerseys can continue to move up the leaderboard with individual stats, as well as quarter-to-quarter wins, an overall win. MVP points are going to be tallied in as well at the end of the game. So you want to do well as a team, right? We talked about that. You want to do as well as you can. That way you can get some major points in that direction. However, you also want to make sure that you are playing hard and tough. You want to be noticed on the field. That way you're voted in a higher spot, or you're placed into a higher spot in terms of the draft.
Apuzzo with a great ride and the caused turnover. That's 14 points for the player who wears number 14 on her jersey in orange.
It's better than a goal.
Sure is. By the way, the scoring summary works in this league. We always talk about the draft and the 4 new captains. It's a snake draft. Whoever is in position 4 on the leaderboard at the end of play today, they choose first tomorrow afternoon. And position 4 wears purple in the week ahead. Position 1 gets the gold. Taylor Marino sent wide. Marino's team wearing gold since Taylor was the reigning champion 1 summer ago. Just past the 4-minute mark in the third. Joe and Courtney upstairs, Marie on the sideline. Quick stick from Apuzzo sails high. Shot clock down to 3. And the horn sounds. A change of possession back to Team Marino.
That little spark on the defensive end is something that Team Marino needs. They needed to get some points on the board for each and every one of them, but then to gain some confidence. And hopefully that transitions from one end of the field to the other.
Sammy Jo Tracy bluffs it against the defensive Marge Donovan. 4 years with the Princeton Tigers and finishing up her collegiate career at Maryland. Sammy Jo in the rollback, snaps that one high. Haley Warden will bring it in off the end line, 22 in the gold. Courtney, remember we met her, she referred to herself as the Lava Lady, studying fossils and volcanic rock in Scotland back in the day.
There was a lot of stuff she talked about that went over my head.
Warden drawing a crowd, 3 orange-clad defenders surrounding her. Right in front of Katie Glenn. 4:40 left in this quarter. Snapshot there from Warden. Ooh, took an awkward tumble. Mira Shane leading the cheers on the sideline for Team Apuzzo after that defensive stand, but they're still not out of the woods, having difficulty clearing the ball. And it's Bosco who comes out of the pack. Courtney, what did you like about Abby Bosco's performance as a fellow Terrapin?
You know, she's just one of those tough defenders. You look at her height. She's not a super tall player, but she is incredibly tough. She has fast feet. She dictates, which is what you want to do on the defensive end. You want to make sure you're telling the attacker where you're allowing her to dodge, not the other way around. Don't be reactionary.
So you and I had a silly conversation about sharks yesterday. Abby was swimming in Bahamas with sharks, which scared the you-know-what out of me, just even the concept of it, but bravery, as you would find from most defenders. Vanthoff on the scoop. Marino made the stop.
But
you like snorkeling, don't you? Snorkeling or scuba diving? Which one?
Scuba diving.
Okay,
Give me that. I don't want to be up top where I'm shark bait. But no, she did say she's not really a risk taker. That was more so her brother, who does skydiving.
It's always about the
sort.
sibling. It's
Right.
always about the sibling.
She had her one chance, did something crazy, and is done with that. No desire to do it again, but pretty cool, because it is Shark Week.
Almost 7 minutes into the third quarter, still looking for our first goal of this frame. Kenzie Kent trying a backdoor cut against Detweiler as she shapes up with McCool from the wing. Kenzie Kent, two-sport athlete at Boston College, 3 times in the Frozen Four with the BC Eagles women's hockey team. Kenzie on the go, snakes her way in, makes the feed. Long drive Tracy, blocked and off the turf and running. It's Fiedler for Team Apuzzo. If you're missing the name Haley Radigan, Haley was injured early on in the first quarter today and has not returned. We heard a report from our Maria Tribal piece that Haley had visited with doctors. She was watching the game from the tunnel the last time we checked, but she has not returned. Apuzzo playing catch with Gilbert. Shot clock down to 24. Gilbert off the split dodge. That left-handed bid sails high. Well defended again. What else is new from Ella Simpkins? Veteran has been sparkling in gold on defense this week.
It's her footwork. She sits low. She's ready. Always in a good position to help.
Intercept there. Caused turnover. Takeaway again for the leaderboard favorite, Taylor Marino. The goalie will roll it to midfield. Molly Garrett clears and ducks away from the over-the-head check of Johansson. Bosco picks it up on the run with 1:35 separating us from the end of the third. Still no goals in this frame. Should it stay that way, the 20 points for whomever wins the quarter would carry over to the fourth. Before we started the third, you heard Nicole Levy mention just how important that is. 1:35 left in quarter number 3. Mira Shane leading the charges and the cheers. We continue the third with you right after this. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN is sponsored by Aspiration, a global leader in financing climate impacts. Fans in the stands enjoying this one as it plays out, beating the summer heat. Team of Puzo with 2 in the first, 4 more in the second. They swept all 40 points available in the opening half. Nobody's on the board here in the third, and as a result, we are 6-2 with 95 seconds to go in the third frame, and we can go to the stands. We have a star in the stands, in fact, in Alex Oss-Holman. Alex, you are surrounded by lacrosse fans, and I know you're all looking for the first goal of the third period. How often do you see a scoreless frame in this league?
Not very often, but like I mentioned before, the second game of the, third game of the weekend, it's tough out here. Defense is making awesome stops, and it's a hot one. So, you really got to dig in and just try and break free, because once you kind of score one, then the waterfall kind of starts happening.
Alex, you guys are all watching something incredibly exciting on the board over there. What's happening?
It was a little bit of an emoji puzzle, candy version, and I thought I did much better than I remember. So that was a little brutal. I had Hadley over here making fun of me for not getting Starburst up there.
That's perfectly fine. Hadley can needle you from time to time. You touched on how hot it is. What will you and your fellow Athletes Unlimited athletes do in the next day or so to recover, to replenish?
Yeah, I mean, I already took my ice bath. Ice bath is definitely a must after these games, but just hydrate and try and take care of your bodies, because we have another tough week ahead, and then, 3 games next weekend, so it's kind of a quick turnaround.
All right, I want you to look into your crystal ball and figure out who potentially do you think will be the next 4 captains and thus leading this draft tomorrow?
So I think Taylor's obviously got it pretty much in the bag for number 1 still, but the next 4, I know when we ended our game was a lot of purple, but now orange is kind of making their way into it. So it's honestly unsure, and this quarter actually matters a lot, because the quarter points will go over if everyone's held scoreless. So we'll see. I honestly can't. I never know. Not until the whistle blows.
6-2 Team of Puzo. Alex Oss-Holman, our star in the stands. Team of Puzo in orange gets the offensive start here late in the third quarter. Alex, from your vantage point, who have been the players who've made the biggest impression this week, who would be maybe high on your list if you were drafting tomorrow?
For my game alone, Allie Kennedy was an absolute force. She had a bunch of, draw controls that were really huge, and then a bunch of fast break goals. So that was incredible. Taylor Moreno's a stone wall in there, and then always got to go with Sam Puzo, because she's just such a threat in the ride and also on offense and on the draw. So they've really impressed me. Also in this game, I got to give a shout out to Abby Bosco. She's crushing it on the circle, making cause turnovers, and just playing not really like a rookie. She's playing like a vet out there.
Just finishing up a player down situation, Team Marino, as Gilbert works straight away. 6-2 for Team of Puzo. Late in this frame, Puzo's pass spots Gilbert, the drive, and Marino has that at knee high. Warden takes it off the turf. Back they come. Quick transition for McCool, looking for the fast break numbers. Challenging her from the blind side, it's O'Donnell. The quick stick just sent wide by Sammy Jo Tracy. Kenzie Kent lost the handle, took her eyes off of it. Alex Oss-Holman, thanks so much for joining us at the end of 3 quarters now with Team of Puzo out in front. We wish you well, Alex, in week 2.
Thanks, guys.
So, in that quarter alone, no goals were scored. So the 20 points will carry over to the fourth. The fourth will be worth 40 for Marie McCool against those dressed in orange of Team of Puzo down the stretch. Lacrosse fans finishing up the weekend in fine style, having some fun with Team Apuzzo and Team Marino. Team Marino's squad held to just 2 points as we head into the final 10 minutes of regulation. 6-2 for the team dressed in orange. Folks, PLL games coming up Saturday on ESPN Plus at 6 and 8:30 Eastern. And then Sunday, we have the Water Dogs and the Archers at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC, as well as ESPN Plus, followed by the Whip Snakes and Chaos, that one on ESPN Plus. All the games originating from Frisco, Texas. After last night's exciting All-Star festivities, we enjoy Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse today. Lauren Gilbert is wearing a microphone for us, and we can go into the game with number one.
Hannah, do you want to try a flip from left to right? Okay. You want me? One more. Yes! Let's go. Good job. Let's go. Here we go. Good job. That's there all day. Great job. Obviously, like only if it's there. But in transition, I'll try to position myself so that if you go at my defender, she has to slide off. You know what I'm saying? I'll look for it. Yeah.
Already with the season tucked under her belt, Lauren Gilbert, much more talkative, you might say, in season 2 for her of Athletes Unlimited. Season 3 overall for this league, which began back in 2021, the inaugural season in the Metro DC area. Maureen Hendricks Field, Taylor Cummings was the champion. In fact, today, Courtney, is the 2-year anniversary of our first ever game in Athletes Unlimited. 6-2 as we go to the fourth. Nobody scored in the third quarter, so 40 points are available for the team that scores the most in the fourth alone. Team Marino in gold has gone better than 14 minutes since a tally from Molly Garrett. Off the draw, batted down by Apuzzo, and claimed for 2 points by Van Thoff. Lauren Gilbert badgered by Palermo. The officials today, Patty Clutcher-Porter, Erica Leslie, Ronnie Anton, and Liz Brush bringing play to a halt. Second game of the afternoon. We started early, noon Eastern. Team Reed put a dent in Team Mastriani, 14-10 for Britt Reed's bunch. And as a result, when we keep showing you the leaderboard, you see a whole lot of players in purple chasing after Taylor Marino, the defending champ. O'Donnell had a 2-goal game earlier in the week. Apuzzo has goals in all 3. Number 1 in so many power categories in Athletes Unlimited's 3-season history. Number 14 in the orange. Dorney on the move. The rookie out of Notre Dame. Swing it for O'Donnell. Johansson angles in against Warden. Awkward shot there, sent wide of the cage, guarded by Marino, and slow to get up off of the turf, in fact, still is Lauren Gilbert.
These players, they're incredibly tough. They're physical, fast, very skilled, but they take a beating out on this field. And just like Alex Ostholman had mentioned, this is game number 3. Their bodies have a little bit of wear and tear. They're ready for that rest day to come after this third game.
Long drive from Johansson is easy pickings for Marino. 5 points for every goal he saved. As Marino walks it up, former midfielder has a very good stick. She's comfortable advancing the ball herself. Spots the open Palermo, and now Warden will get it in to 6-on-6 offensive strategy. Marino save counter is up to 8. Kenzie Kent carving in, works against the double team. Detweiler getting help from Johansson. Warden funneled away from Detweiler. Sammy Jo Tracy plants a foot in the ground, but lost it before she could take that left-handed shot. Bosco will counterattack. Bosco runs away from the over-the-head check, then made a bad pass. Cleaned up by Van Thoff as they scramble on the end line. Taylor comes out of there with a ball.
You're not gonna get a person who can reach the ball higher than Taylor Venthoff, especially Ali Palermo. A little bit of a height difference there. Advantage going to number 97 in orange.
No, 6 foot tall for Venthoff and 5'1" for Palermo. No advantage whatsoever. Apuzzo, picked up by Wakefield. Caroline's not afraid to take the most difficult defensive assignment. She's got it right now. O'Donnell, stick checked. Warden looking for another takeaway, getting help, and Moreau will speed back into a fast break for Team Marino. Amy Moreau, Tracy behind the back, pretty. Levy didn't flips that one to the cage in time. Detweiler closed ranks, good slide from defense. Kenzie Kent with 40 seconds to operate. Levy backpedals away from O'Donnell.
Team Marino just needs somebody who will take control on the offensive end of the field. I like how they want to move the ball, but somebody really needs to be aggressive to goal. Kind of like a Sam Apuzzo style, but somebody in that gold jersey is just what's lacking on the offensive end of the field.
Been a long time since we've seen anybody turn the light on. Lauren Gilbert made it 6-2 in the second quarter. Since then, everybody's off the sheet. Bouncer from Kent, answered by Katie Glynn. Katie Glynn, the string doctor. She carries a working case on the sidelines. Playing for Orange this week. All of her throw strings are orange. If she's drafted to a different team tomorrow, she'll be changing strings again, doing it for herself and for her teammates, should they ask.
Again, this fourth quarter has 40 points tied to it since nobody scored a goal in the third quarter. The 20 from the third, move on, push to the fourth quarter.
Venthoff turns off the question mark. She just sent it wide. Venthoff again shooting over top of Palermo. Gilbert, those high knees. The symbol of her stride. She fights for the loose ground ball, comes out of the pack with it. Plays it on to Hannah Dorney.
As you look at the leaderboard, Taylor Marino is still in the #1 spot despite the fact that her team has not won any of the quarters here in their third game today. So she had such a substantial lead from games 1 and game 2. The fact that she most likely will remain at the top. If I'm her, and again, I watched the games beforehand as well as this one, I don't know who else you take besides Sam Apuzzo at the top as your first selection in the draft.
A draft that'll come tomorrow before noontime. The 4 new captains will draft their rosters of 14. McCool gets underneath a check, sends one high of the cage. Since it missed the target, there are just 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Bringing it in off the end line, Kenzie Kent. The quick restart, fires, and another stop for Katie Glynn. Glynn's save total almost matching Marino's. Now she has a half dozen. Gilbert takes this one away from Garrett with less than 4 minutes to go, and we hear a timeout on the field. A 6-2 advantage for Team Apuzzo. Chance for everybody to catch their breath. We'll bring you back for more, the final 4 minutes of quarter 4, after these messages. Whole bunch of goose eggs on the scoreboard in the third and fourth quarter today. It's still 6-2 for Team Apuzzo. That's the same lead they carried after the opening half this afternoon at USA Lacrosse headquarters in Sparks. Sunday Night Baseball coming up. Series finale between the Mets and Red Sox at Fenway Park. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Coverage beginning 6 Eastern and 3 Pacific with baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. Michael K. and A-Rod, of course, with their K-Rod presentation right here on ESPN2. With a score 6-2 and 4 minutes to go, a special guest enters our call with the Mover of the Week.
Well, Sergeant Reese Singleton, the Air National Guard's motto is always ready, always there. We proudly partner with Athletes Unlimited, who support players who are always ready to compete for the top spot. Let's find out who climbed their way up the leaderboard rankings to earn the title of the Air National Guard's Mover of the Week.
Entering this Sunday with a 2-0 mark, backstopped by the great goalkeeping of number 30, who resides as number 1 on the leaderboard into this game 6 of 24 this season. Taylor Marino, better than 500 points on her ledger. She was attempting to cross that plateau again today, something very few have done in the first 2 seasons plus here with Athletes Unlimited. We have 3 minutes and 59 seconds to go.
Like she was already slid, so
Nicole Levy is in conversation with Sammy Jo Tracy. She's going to break away to chat with us. All right, Nicole, time's a-wasted now. What can you do to get on the board in the last 4 minutes?
we can continue what we're doing now this quarter. I think we came out with a hot start. We're getting the shots off that we want and the ball's in the right sticks. So I think we just got to capitalize that. Our defense is playing solid per usual. They're really hanging us in with this quarter, but we just got to win this quarter. That's all that matters to us right now. We're not worried about the games. We just want those 20 points from last quarter and 20 points to roll over here. So that's what we're looking for.
Nicole, we want you to use your voice now as O'Donnell rips one upstairs.
Yeah, hate to see it, but you know, KO's been popping off this year. I'm really proud of her. She's one of my best friends. She's also really good at golf.
Beautiful goal. Great golfer, huh? We'll see about that. We'll see about that.
Great golfer.
Nicole, thank you, and we appreciate it. Look forward to chatting with you throughout the summer. 7-2 for Team Apuzzo.
Katie O'Donnell, her game number 2 was cut short off of a red card, so she had some catching up to do today. Love the fact that she changed the level on that shot. Different look than what goalkeeper Taylor Marino has seen, and there you go, best friends again on the lacrosse field and the golf course.
Hit him straight. Hit him well, ladies. Katie O'Donnell back on the board. She had 2 on opening night against Team Mastriani. We've told you about her mom, the daughter of John and Jen, an official for close to 40 years in this great sport. Sam Apuzzo comes away from the pack. Her team now looking more and more like they're lined up for the 45 points for the win. Everybody on the roster in orange. The question to be settled is still remaining in the 4th. They have the 4th quarter lead now thanks to the strike from O'Donnell.
Sam Apuzzo's team in orange, they've been so dominant at the draw when they need it most. Obviously, Team Marino in gold wanting to get possession. They need the ball in order to score. They have a rookie defense that they are up against, but that rookie defense has proved to be difficult to score on. They've been aggressive all over the hands of these veterans.
Gilbert fires and scores! An exclamation point. Lauren Gilbert with another heater to beat Marino.
Again, it's been all about the 2-man game. Sam Apuzzo, Lauren Gilbert working together at the top. Excellent feed. Lauren Gilbert putting herself in position just to catch, turn, and shoot. They've been firing on all cylinders. Their first win was an 11-10 win over Mastriani's team where they came from behind. They had a big loss to Team Reed. And then today, they've just been working together offensively, sharing the ball so very well, shooting from a bunch of different areas, which you can appreciate, especially as you were trying to mix up that defense.
Lauren Gilbert, who hails from the great state of Oregon, Folks, for every assist during this year's Athletes Unlimited lacrosse season, Aspirations committed to planting 10 trees. Last season, the Athletes tallied 189 assists. That's 1,890 trees for all of their efforts. Nice work by today's presenting sponsor, Aspiration. Team Apuzzo, the only 2 goals in the second half. Team Marino's squad, which began the week blanking Team Reed for the opening 20 minutes of the season, being whitewashed themselves now at the end of another hot day. Temperatures in the low 90s, much hotter than that on the field. Team Apuzzo's squad on its way to a 2-1 record this weekend. Team Marinos will fall to a similar 2-1 mark.
Again, the defenses are figuring out how to play. They're physical, they're tough. Team Marino only given up 8 goals at this point. Still a low-scoring affair on both sides. So you got to give credit where credit is due.
Johansson crosses over and scores. Amanda Johansson, and all of a sudden the dam is broken in the fourth quarter.
You know, if things continue on like this, Mira Shane with her celebrations, love to watch her. But the slides are coming late. Again, nobody's really making a lot of contact with the ball carrier. And defensively, you got to put a body in front. You need to get on the hands, step in front. Amanda Johansson, she can put a big head of steam right at goal, and you have to match power for power.
So the issue is no longer in doubt. Team Apuzzo will put a convincing win up on the board in 1 minute and 38 seconds. The players will then conduct their MVP voting. The leaderboard will shuffle, and when it's all said and done, the top 4 will be drafting tomorrow morning new teams for a week 2 start on Thursday.
So if I remember correctly, Sam Apuzzo was still near that like top 15-ish mark. This is going to be another 40 points, quarter 3, quarter 4 put together. So
right.
20-20. The end of the game is 45.
Right.
So 40 plus 45 is 85. And then if she's getting MVP points, she could be pretty darn close to being a team captain yet again.
Sammy Joe on the go. How about some votes for Katie Glynn, who's been a brick wall in the cage in the second half, helping to backstop Team Apuzzo to a very healthy lead. On the clear, Melissa Hawkins, rookie defender, played at Vanderbilt, a unanimous first-team All-American Athletic Conference choice. 60 seconds left. And what has been a full day of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN2. Johansson in no hurry. Just about a 20-second differential in the shot clock. O'Donnell keeping it a long way from the cage. Finds the open captain, Apuzzo, against Wakefield. Spinning back, Marino had the post there. Taylor picks up another stop and then launches this one 70 yards downfield, out of reach for Kenzie Kent, who just managed to keep it in. Detweiler has control in the final 10. Fiedler to Gilbert. These teams, these rosters will change. Victory in the books for Team Apuzzo. As the captain raises her hands, it's a 9-2 decision. The carryover from the third quarter, as Courtney documented, so 40 more points for Apuzzo's bunch, plus the 45 for the win.
You know, a dominating win for Team Apuzzo. They certainly bounced back after the loss to Team Reed yesterday, fixed a lot of things on the defensive end. They gave up 14 goals this time. They were stellar with that rookie defense, allowing just 2 against such a veteran offense. Impressive that they were able to flip the switch, but we're gonna see different teams come tomorrow.
You could tell that Team Sam Apuzzo meant business. They had 2 goals on the board in the first couple of minutes against the defending champ, and they rolled 9-2. Stay right there. Plenty of more work ahead with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, presented by Aspiration. Scoreboard reads out in favor of Team Apuzzo. With that scoreless third quarter, the points carrying over to the fourth. Team Apuzzo fashioning 3 goals en route to a 9-2 decision over Team Marino. As the players continue to go through their MVP voting, Courtney, you and I have a look back at the handiwork of Sam Apuzzo, who throughout this week was a goal-scoring champion in her own right.
Sam Apuzzo did everything she needed to put the ball in the back of the net, to make changes as a captain. There's no better mind than hers, but she just has the ability to overtake a game, and that's what her team needed, especially here in game number 3. They had a big loss in game 2, and she was not willing to go out with that.
Big smile on Sam Apuzzo's face for very good reason, and it will continue as she's interviewed by Maria Tribal-Peace.
Sam, you were able to held Team Marino to just 2 goals in that game. What is so great about your defense?
Our defense were unbelievable today, from Abby to Katie, all of our defenders. Katie and Cage were incredible. I'm so proud of them. They held a really good offensive team for a really long time.
It's hot out here, game 3 of the weekend. How do you stay focused when it's so hot and when you're just pushing through?
I think we just pull it together. We all kind of look at each other and make sure that we're on the right headspace, and kind of keeping the energy calm and keeping us all kind of cool and collected throughout each possession. And I think that helped us a lot today.
You get to be a little bit of a scout out here too, the draft coming up. How would you approach that? Who do you look for? What do you want to take?
It was a long weekend, a lot of great plays here and there on offense, on defense. I think just looking back and seeing how everyone did, I'm proud of my team, and there was a lot of great play out the whole weekend.
How do you recover going into the next weekend of games?
Lots of water, a lot of treatment, whatever you can do to get ready for next week.
Thank you, Sam. Good luck next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Back to you, Joe.
Sam and Maria, we appreciate it. You know, Court, when the week began and the draft was made by Sam Apuzzo, I got on the phone with you and said, geez, she just took 4 rookie defenders. I'm guessing her choice was worthwhile.
Worthwhile. She put a good group together of veterans on the offensive end of the field, and I think that they had more potential in clicking. Again, the defensive end, she said they played well in the collegiate ranks, and she expected that they were going to continue that on in Athletes Unlimited.
Winning today over Taylor Marino's squad by the final count of 9-2, as we can share some up-to-the-minute leaderboard numbers with you. The top 4 will be named captain tomorrow. These are not final. These are not official yet. There is a balloting that's going on right now, MVP voting that's going on. But Taylor Marino, the reigning champion, Britt Reed right there off of an outstanding last 2 games for Britt. They're 1-2, both the goalies behind the mask. But there are MVP votes to be tallied. There are still appeals to be made. But when all is said and done, the top 4 are new captains tomorrow.
You know, and the fact that Sam Apuzzo began this game so far down on the leaderboard, but her ability to make changes on the field, score goals, get draw controls, cause turnovers, and then obviously her team winning out each and every quarter, obviously coming up with the overall win as well. And she does have the potential with her play on the field today to get an MVP point.
Taylor Marino falling today to Team Apuzzo by the final of 9-2. Sam Apuzzo got it started with a lightning bolt, and on from there, they rolled Thursday, 5 Eastern, next action for Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN+. Coming up next, SportsCenter featured Nothing Else Matters. For Courtney, for Maria, for all the men and women in our crew, Joe Beninati, thanks so much for watching. The team in orange, Mira Shane kicking up a storm. Team of Puzo, Downs Marino, 9-2 in the winner's circle.